Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for Twisted Dice, and I'm back with hopefully a video that you'll find really useful. So today I'm going to cover what I consider, or what we at Twisted Dice consider to be the best places where you can go and check out and consume your wargaming and hobby goodness. So these will be some of the best podcasts, some of the best battle report producers, some of the best blogs, painting tutorials, you name it. Got you covered today. So when you're not over at Twisted Dice and you're taking on board all of the amazing content we've got some other great producers for you, which hopefully, if you haven't already, it gives you an opportunity to go over and check them out, because we thoroughly enjoy them, and it's a good opportunity for us on the channel to kind of share some of the best places that we think are out there to consume all your hobbying and 40k goodness. So before this video gets started, if you could do me a big favour and hit the big thumbs up, chuck down in the comments where your favourite places to consume your wargaming goodness are. Great place for us to share those, so if there are other places that I'm missing out on, I can go over and check them out, and share all the places where you really like to see all your, where you like to spend all your time consuming content. I think let's start off at the top with, probably what we are most proud of on the channel, which is our battle reports. We put an awful lot of time and effort into producing what we consider to be some really good battle reports. And if you haven't already, make sure you check them out. We will be very soon going back to producing again. Obviously with COVID, we've had to have basically a 3-month break from doing battle reports because, we're trying to be responsible. But, there are some amazing other producers out there, and there are so many great battle report producers out there. There's no way that I could cover them all, but what I wanted to do was share what I think are probably the best 3 at the moment for me, the ones that when I'm free and get an opportunity, they're the places that I go. And these are in no particular order, but the first one that I wanted to cover is 40k in 40 minutes. They're a relatively new channel. They've probably been around a good sort of 2 years now, maybe just over that, but they have humongous production values. They spend an awful lot of time and money making some incredible battle reports. I was lucky enough to meet these guys a couple of years ago in Vegas. They're really passionate about what they do, and they do some great content. So make sure you go and check them out. They do something very different from other people, and that's also something that I really like about them. They're not necessarily just following the same old standard. They're doing something different, and they're doing it really well. Yeah, definitely check them out. Great content. Make sure you let them know that we sent you over. Next on my list, again, relatively new, been around a while, but really kind of absolutely stepping it up a gear, are the guys over at Hellstorm Wargaming. Mikey and the team have done a fantastic job at continuing to raise the bar on their production values. Really cool battle reports. We love them because they're very similar in a lot of ways to what we do. And, they've got a great kind of tongue-in-cheek humour. Mikey, he puts a great effort on. If you meet Mikey in real life, he's not a particularly funny guy, but in on the camera, he does a great job. No, only joking, Mikey. But seeing the journey that those guys have been on, a few years ago, meeting Mikey at No Retreat as a pretty small YouTuber, and seeing the monumental growth that guy's done is really inspirational. Guys have done a cracking job, and I can see them going from strength to strength. And definitely, if you haven't checked them out, do give them a watch, and give them some support, because they're doing some great stuff over there. And the last kind of battle report producer that I wanted to cover, for me, is still the gold standard, and that is our good friends over at Tabletop Tactics. I'm sure you guys follow and know all about them. But Lawrence, again, somebody who's put a humongous amount of work into really taking a very kind of small enterprise and really continuing to lift the bar to push that channel to be really the gold standard for battle reports. The quality, the production value is amazing, really, really good. I can't say enough good things about them. I've been very, very fortunate to be involved, playing some games on the channel early on. I would love to get involved in doing some more content with the guys at Tabletop in the future. Mine and Lawrence's games are always a lot of fun, and it would be great to have some more games with him as well as some of the other teams. So hopefully that's something that will happen again in the future. Obviously just getting that to kind of tie up and getting our schedules in place, and they're very, very busy, so who knows when that will happen, but I would love to see it. It was a lot of fun in the past, and I'm sure we could have a lot of fun in the future. But if you haven't already, make sure you go over and check out Tabletop Tactics. And if you haven't done it for a while, so you check them out in the past, and for whatever reason you're watching other things, why not go over and give them a try again? Because again, there's been an awful lot of work to continue to improve their content, to continue to change and adapt, and try different stuff. And they've got some great videos over there. So make sure you go over and check out Tabletop Tactics. So, as I said, I could go on and on battle report producers, but for me, those are the three that you definitely want to be watching when you're not watching Twisted Dice. Moving on to painting, and this is one of the probably one of the hottest and most competitive area for content. There are so many amazing painting tutorials, tips and tricks, all sorts. There is just so many out there that, again, it's so vast. There's no way I could cover them all. But the three that I really, really enjoy and would definitely recommend that you check out if you haven't already is Cult of Paint. If you check out Andy and his team over there, they do some amazing quick tips and tricks and some tutorials on how to paint some incredible stuff. And these guys know what they're doing. They are some of the best painters anywhere on the planet. They produce some incredible work, very, very inspirational, and definitely go over and check them out. Their tutorials are nice and easy and straightforward to follow, and there's ways to follow them and support the guys even further through Patreon and get even more content. So definitely go over and check out the Cult of Paint. Next up is an old favourite of mine, but one that continues to knock it out the park, and that's the Next Level Painting. So that's Kenny Boucher. Some people get very frustrated and can't deal with his kind of mannerisms, his the way that he speaks, particularly over here in the UK. It's very kind of exaggerated for us and a bit like, whoa, but the content is second to none, and I love the vivid colours, his incredible use of the airbrush. He's got some great tips and tricks there as well. Continues to knock it out of the park, and definitely one to check out if you haven't already. Some great work going on over there. And then third on my list of great painting tutorial content and generally great painting content is Squidmar. This guy just does some incredible work. It doesn't just do painting tutorials, he does kind of like reviews and other quirky stuff. But I just find his videos incredibly, just really great to watch. It's great quality production, really well at presenting these videos. They're just very, very interesting, and even if you're not a painter, I just find him great to watch. So make sure you go over and check him out, but I think he does a great job over there, and definitely you can pick up some incredible tips and tricks on how to get your painting kind of to the next level. So next up, probably at the moment one of the most booming areas of wargaming, and an area that everybody, man and his dog, has, which is a podcast. Podcast, obviously really simple. You need a microphone and straight away you can start chucking stuff up online for people to consume. So there are tons and tons of wargaming podcasts out there. In fact, everyone's got a podcast, including us. So if you haven't already, make sure you do check out Tip of the Spearhead, which is generally every other week. Anyway, but the 3 podcasts that I think are your go-tos at the moment, in no particular order again, are Fall to the Narrative. Paul Murphy, amazing, absolute legend of the community, and produces an incredible podcast where it covers pretty much all areas of 40k. So he very much touches on the competitive side, but also talks a little bit about kind of hobby, and talks a little bit about more of the kind of casual side. So you get a real kind of nice snapshot of the hobby and of generally of 40k. Paul is an absolute pro, and it's presented in a really well thought out, well organised and well executed package. So, absolutely goes without saying, if you haven't already, check out Fall to the Narrative. And next up comes the Juggernauts of Wargaming podcast, which is the Frontline Gaming network. So these guys have absolutely knocked it out of the park over the last year, have now pretty much covered all bases, from tournament breakdowns to in-depth meta conversations to general news, everything. They've got it all covered, and they continue to just go from strength to strength. They really can pretty much cover all your needs just in one network. They are absolute juggernauts of the podcast world. So make sure you check them out. And there's been a lot of hard work to build that, and I know Reese is really passionate about that as a project. So definitely check them out. There's some great people involved, and yeah, can't say enough good things about the guys. And the last podcast that I wanted to cover, which is probably my favourite podcast of the moment, is Vanguard Tactics podcast. So Stephen has done an amazing job at producing a really well thought out podcast where they cover, generally they do kind of in-depth reviews on the latest kind of codexes, but it's really well thought out. It's really well broken down. They give you kind of all the information that you really kind of need to get your head around that codex. I just think it's a really nice package. It's kind of my go-to for some really good information, and the guys are absolutely knocking it out of the park over there. Recently now become GW testers, which is fantastic, and if you haven't already, make sure you check them out. Doing some great work over there. They also do other great content as well, and I'm very much hopeful that hopefully once we get off the back of this COVID nonsense, we can do some work together and definitely get a battle report or 2 done for you guys, because I'd love to kind of get rolling dices with those guys. They're a really good team. So they're my podcast of choice, so make sure you check them out. On to the written places to go. So this is blogs, your kind of your written up tactics, your written battle reports, all that stuff, the stuff that generally you consume over at Facebook, and kind of you read on your lunch breaks or early evening content with your cup of tea. And for me, the places that I like to go and consume my content is, first one is what I would consider the absolute best written battle reports, which is SM Battle Reports. They also do a lot of other stuff as well. They're a great bunch of lads. They do some of the best events in the world. So you can't go anywhere better really than the SM Battle Reports tournaments. But they also do great video battle reports. But for me, their bread and butter, and what really sets them apart, is their written battle reports are by far the best written battle reports. They are beautifully presented with great narrative, great pictures. You really can't go anywhere better than checking them out. So make sure you check those guys out. Moving on is an old classic, which is Bella Lost Souls. There's a lot of information over there. Always great to kind of go and catch different people's articles. Some I enjoy more than others, but it's a great place for written information over there. A great kind of font of knowledge. Definitely one to check out. You probably already checked them out, but if you haven't, make sure you go over and check them out. And then the last one, another fairly new kind of community, if you like, but are absolutely knocking it out of the park, are Goonhammer. These are the one-stop shop for a lot of your kind of tactical and analytical needs. They've produced some amazing content over there, and they seem to get better and better and better. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff they say on there. It makes me kind of tear my hair out and grit my teeth, because some of the stuff, particularly they say about Tyranids in the past, I think is so totally wrong. But it is an amazing place to read some really thought out, well written, tactical breakdowns on a lot of stuff that's going on in the hobby. They're so quick as well. So, as soon as something drops, they're on there with a real in-depth breakdown. So if you rather read your reviews and your breakdowns, they are one of the best places to go for that. So definitely check them out at Goonhammer. Then I wanted to go into streams. So I didn't really know how to to necessarily kind of phrase this, but this is the place where you go to, to hang out. People that do like live streams, they do chats, they do, that type of content. They'll do like live battle reports, things like that. This is generally Twitch content, but these are the ones that I like to go to anyway. So I love to go over and watch Scary over on Skardcast. He does an almost daily sort of sit and chat where he gets loads of guests on, but it's a great show. It's an hour long, but he does lots of other stuff as well. He does battle reports as well, does lots of live really cool content, and it's a great one just to go over and just chill out, have in the background while you're painting. Really great content, so definitely go over and check Scary out over on Twitch. Again, he's on multiple social networks, but I really love his Twitch content, so definitely go over there and check out Scary at Skardcast. Next up for me is very much the Honest Wargamer. I love catching up with all the things that the guys over there are chatting about. They do a 40k show once a week, which is a lot of laugh, a lot of fun. It's great. There's great information and content there, but it's in a really amusing, fun package. It's very, very tongue-in-cheek. I really, really like what the guys are doing. You can't help but go over and check out Rob and the team, and go away from that sort of smiling. It does make you laugh, it makes you chuckle. It's great consumable content, and particularly if you're into Age of Sigmar, there's tons of content coming out over there as well. So great place to go. He's always streaming over there, so make sure you follow Rob and the team over at Honest Wargamer. They're a great bunch, and I can't recommend highly enough. And for me, the last consumable content, if you like, on a kind of live basis, is I do really enjoy catching up with Best in Faction over on Twitch. They do battle reports, kind of live battle reports there. I really find them quite interesting. They'll do quite a lot of meta stuff. They're very much kind of got the finger on the pulse of what is presumably good at the time. So I really, really do enjoy consuming that content. So definitely check them out as well. And that is getting quite close to the end of my list. But what I did want to do is give you a few honourable mentions, just ones that I didn't necessarily put in kind of like, top threes or what have you, but I did think were worth kind of mentioning because they're just amazing, and there are so many as well, but I just wanted to kind of give kind of a bit of a mention to Idic Beer, whatever he's calling his channel these days, but if you put in Idic Beer you can't help but find him. Does amazing Necron content as a whole, but he's a great, you know, a great member of the community, and you know, is just very good at what he does, and definitely would recommend, if you're a Necron player, you know, you need to check him out 100%. Mini Wargaming, you know, I couldn't help but put them in a list, because ultimately they're one of the biggest factors in me sitting here doing YouTube. You know, Dave and Matt have done a fantastic job. They continue to push the bar. They continue to do all sorts of amazing stuff over there. And long may them continue and be successful. They are, you know, they are the kind of godfathers, if you like. I'm almost breaking into Godfather voice there. Excuse me. They're godfathers of wargaming content online. They've been there pretty much from the beginning, and they continue to produce some amazing content. So if you haven't already, and I'm sure you have, make sure you check those guys out. I also wanted to give a shout out to Winters SEO. Again, great battle report producer over there, and generally really kind of good guy, and is very much involved in the community as well. So wanted to give him a shout out. And as I said, the list could go on and on and on, and I'm sure I'm missing people that you think are so important to the community, but I have to stop somewhere, otherwise this video is going to be about an hour long, and that's not the idea. So hopefully this list gives you some good places to go and to consume your content. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, but most importantly, don't forget to check out all our content over on Twisted Dice, and until our next video, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.